How do we know we can trust the Chinese authorities to be open and honest about the lab? The WHO says in their video that they have been working hard to bring the best thinking from around the world together to try to answer these very difficult questions.
Since the very early days, there were questions that we had to our colleagues in China about the earliest exposures related to the markets, and also looking back at potential animal exposures and other types of exposures that may have kicked off this outbreak. Since the early days, there have been missions that have taken place in Wuhan, and we've had international missions that have been established to help us better understand and advance the data that needs to be collected to understand how this pandemic began.
Obviously, being a United Nations organisation, the WHO won't be too critical of China. One of the problems of these global bodies is we have to keep it all nice and polite. There's nothing more deadly than nice and polite. If you want real kindness, truth and goodness, you have to often be anything but nice and polite, sadly.
It is becoming increasingly difficult to understand how this pandemic began as we enter the fourth year of this pandemic. But as an organization, as public health professionals, as scientists, we must pursue this until all avenues are exhausted. And we must also pursue this for the millions of people who have lost their lives, for the tens of thousands of people who continue to lose their lives every single month, for the people who have lost their livelihoods, for the people who are suffering from post-COVID-19 condition. We owe it to them to exhaust every angle to understand how this pandemic began so that we can be better prepared for the future.
Okay, that's Dr. Maria van Kerkhove. She's the WHO's technical lead on COVID-19.